Hello everyone. Today I will do my presentation, my tool presentation of my course Tools and the Minds. And as my tool I choose Turkish coffee pot, which is Cezve. And sorry for not widening the presentation because if I do it, unfortunately I can't record my screen, so I will continue like this. Sorry. So let's look what is Cezve. As you can see on your left part, it's a Cezve, Turkish making coffee, Turkish coffee maker, Cezve, but it's a traditional way. On the right side, you can see the electronic Turkish coffee maker, which is made new. But today we will talk about the traditional one, like the left one. First, let's see the parts of Turkish coffee pot. So, it contains only two parts, its body and the handle. The body can be made of stainless steel, copper, and brass, and the handle can be made of the materials above, but mostly made of wood. And there's one more like additional object for this this tool. It's finjan. Um, After making the Turkish coffee, we put the coffee to finjans, and it's mostly made of ceramic. And let's see how to make Turkish coffee. So, like, how to use my tool. So, to make a Turkish coffee, you have three ingredients: water, Turkish coffee, and sugar, which is optional. So, for one person, you need one finjan of water, one dessert spoon of coffee, and the sugar depends on how much you want. For me, I don't use sugar. I like the Turkish coffee's its own aroma, the unique aroma. So after putting these three ingredients to the cezve, we put our cezve to the stove, and we open it on medium, because if you make it so fast, it can be uh, uh, not a good aroma. It can be bitter. So, and when you do it in medium, you should be watch it, because if you don't watch it and it boils so fast and it can mess up the stove. We don't want this. I've experienced it so many times, but don't do it. Just keep an eye on the foam. So when the foam occurs, we take the foam with the spoon to the finjans. And after taking it to finjans, we put the cezve to stove again and boil a little bit again, like few seconds. It will be happen, and then put the rest of it to the finjans, and your coffee is ready. But like as a result, and while presenting it, we don't show the cezve. We only show one finjan of Turkish coffee, one little cup of water, and Turkish delight. Actually, you can put also chocolate instead of Turkish delight. It's like not a must, but like it's good to be there a sweet. So I would like to talk about the classification of cezve. The cezve falls into the category of culinary tools, which is in household and personal tools. It fits best within the definition of a classical handheld tool. Similar tools in this category include various types of coffee makers, such as drip coffee makers, espresso machines, and percolators. The cezve is a physical tool that relies on basic principles of heat conduction and brewing techniques, but also it could be seen as a symbolic tool where making good coffee depends on both the user skill and the features of the cezve. Let's talk about its function. So, the main function of cezve is to prepare Turkish coffee. Using it yields a deeply flavorful coffee characterized by its unique aroma and texture. The only way I know how to make Turkish coffee is doing it with cezve. Or you can also make with electronic ones, as I showed at the first slide. But I think I can't cook Turkish coffee with another tool. And using a cezve involves both cognitively and physically functions. Cognitively, users need to consider things like water temperature, brewing time, and the coffee to water ratio to get the taste and the strength they want. And physically, they need to handle the cezve carefully, like holding the handle to pour without spilling and stirring to evenly extract flavor from the grounds. But its functions are not only making Turkish coffee. You can use for other things also. To boil eggs, which it comes interesting to most of the people. To make filter coffee, and I never done filter coffee in a cezve, but I would like to try one day. And you can use also to boil water or milk. And it can be used mostly in homes. And I would like to talk about my experience a little bit. Like, mostly the Turkish coffee is can be used as like socialized because in Turkey, like most of the places have Turkish coffee. So Turkish coffee make people socialize. So while using the tool for this, kind of makes the tool important for our culture and Turkey for Turkey. So my experience is like in my like in my when I was a child, around age 5, my grandmother was boiling eggs for the breakfast, and we were counting the minutes together to know how long it boiled. It was a good memory for my from my childhood about cezve. I was not using the tool as it mostly used function, but because children were not allowed to drink coffee, because I think they were like there's a thing that children doesn't drink coffee. So most of my memories from my childhood is about boiling eggs. But when I grew up and started to go to high school, I started to make coffee, lots of coffee, because in our culture the youngest girl makes the coffee, and my parents were not drinking Turkish coffee so much, but when we get to my grandmother's, I was always making the Turkish coffee because I am the youngest cousin. Actually, I used to don't like Turkish coffee so much, but after coming to Germany, I started to like it more and cook more than before. The reason might be the need of connecting my roots. And also, after I started to live in Germany, and when I go to Turkey, drinking Turkish coffee in the kitchen of our home with my mother became our thing. We started to drink together and talk about everything. Turkish coffee reminds me of good memories, not only my mother, but also my friends. Because when we gather around girl to girl, we mostly drink Turkish coffee and mostly gossip. We were of course talking about other things like how our life was going, how was our plans. So we were talking about basically life. I think, these were in Turkey, and I think while cooking Turkish coffee and drinking it, I feel kinda at my home. It reminds me of my part in Turkey. So, in my second time visiting Turkey, I brought cezve and lots of Turkish coffee with me, and now I drink it at least 3 times a week. It gives me both physical and emotional power. And as you can see in the picture, here is my cezve in the middle, and the fincans I brought from Turkey, and the big package of Turkish coffee. So I like my tool, and there's no I like my tool like there's no words I can say more like because it really reminds me of my hometown. So thank you for listening. Have a good day.